taking steps to improve Delaware's economy. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me this hour is the State Treasurer, Chip Flowers Jr. Thanks for being with us.
Always a pleasure being here.
When we talk about some of the steps that can be taken in order to work to improve the economy here in Delaware, you say that one of the things that can be done is to take a look at your office overall and work to modernize the system. Why is that important? What kind of difference can that make overall?
Sure, and it's a great question because we manage about $2 billion of taxpayer money. And when I first came to office, just for an example, that we had just a small television in the kitchen, and that was the way that people were really looking at the state investments, not really being proactive. And I think modernizing the office, we've taken some strong steps of putting in financial systems that have made a significant difference. As you can imagine, over the past year, we had threats of a government shutdown. We had a downgrade in the U.S. government bond rating. These were all things that really can impact the state's financial security. So we had to respond within seconds. And so by modernizing the office, it makes a tremendous impact in making sure that tax dollars are safe, and yet that we're also making money on our state's investments.
And that's one of the things that's been done. But let's talk a little bit about the Delaware Economic Index and the early warning system. These are online tools, but yes, what do they actually mean for people being able to access information about how the state's actually doing?
We're so proud of this tool because we found that too often in 2008 that people who went out and made a large purchase didn't really know how Delaware's economy was doing. What's happening is that people go and they watch the news and they say, oh, the economy is doing fine in this particular area, but they don't really know about Delaware. So what we try to do is say, let's just streamline all the financial information we can find about Delaware and give people a quick, graphical, easy to use tool that before they go out and make a major purchase, they can check things out. We're not saying that we can predict what's going to happen in the future, but I think we can take a look at what's happened in the past 60 days and say, this is what we're seeing in that data. And so we rate the economy, say the economy is fair, or it's obviously in a better position or not, but people need to have that information before they make those major purchases. And so it's one of our ways to say, look, we're your treasurer. We're here to help you in your financial journey.
And that information is available online?
Correct. It is available at our website, treasury.delaware.gov, and we encourage people to sign up on our website, and they can get it by email. And we're actually working on an iPad app and other applications for your phone because we want you to have that information at your fingertips.
In addition to that, we've talked about this idea in the past, but putting some of that money for which the Treasury Department is actually responsible, putting Delaware money in Delaware banks. What's the idea behind this concept, and how is that concept working?
This is so important because we really believe that Delaware money should be in Delaware working for Delawareans. And I will stand to that principle as long as I'm in office, because it's not that we don't want to support other banks outside of the state, but we believe that those banks that are existing here that lend to our families, lend to our businesses, they need to make sure that they have capital. We want to make sure that our money, as long as it's still safe and as long as it's still insured by the government, we want to make sure we can put that money in local banks so when a family comes in for that car loan or that mortgage, that there's a chance that they can get that loan because there's money in that bank that can be used to be lent out to our families and the Delawareans at large.
But is that actually working at this point? Is some of that investment actually going out for those purposes?
Yes, we look at all the data nationally, and right now we're still working to move that money in, but looking at the data nationally, and we see that local banks and local credit unions are actually the ones lending to community. Now, that's not to slight some of our larger and bigger banks, because we know they have a great presence here in Delaware, but we are seeing the fact that if money's put in these local and regional banks, it's having a significant economic impact when it's specifically targeted.
And let's talk a little bit about some of the other things happening, because we talked about the idea of modernization, but there have been some other programs put in place in order to really innovate some existing programs and create new ones.
Sure. A simple idea we had was a Support Delaware initiative, which is money that basically says the treasurer, we have contracts that we give out, and that's subject to the state procurement laws like anyone else. But we really believe that, listen, in these difficult economic climes, if a Delaware business can do the job, we want to give that contract to a Delaware business. So we really encourage businesses to apply and look at the contracts that we have available to make a difference in Delaware.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
We've been talking with the State Treasurer, Chip Flowers Jr. I'm Jill Horner.